My wife, just to prove that her best friend's husband was the ultimate catch, actually dragged him out mountain climbing every single day for exercise. Furious, I divorced her right then and there. The moment I walked out the doors of City Hall, my now ex-wife, Jo Na, got in her car without looking back and immediately called that same best friend. She sounded so damn happy, saying, "Girl, I am finally free today. Bring your husband out. We're hitting the club and partying all night long. We're getting totally wasted." As for me, I felt a kind of relief I had never felt before. Looking up at the clear blue sky, it was like I could finally see my future for the first time. Shu Fuhai, congratulations on your new life. Binding the ultimate billionaire system. Starter fund of 100 million yuan has been issued. A sudden voice echoed in my head. Scared the crap out of me. Was I just so happy that I was hearing things? Beep beep, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out and saw the balance. 100 million. My eyes nearly popped out of my head. Even though I was freaking out with joy inside, I managed to keep my cool in public. I originally planned to hit up the Imperial Spa to wash off the bad luck. But as soon as I got up to the 3rd floor, a familiar voice suddenly rang in my ear. "Old Shu, is that you?" Hearing that, I turned around and locked eyes with someone I knew. Someone I really didn't want to see right now. The woman standing right in front of me was none other than my ex-wife Jo Na's best friend, Lin Mishui. At this very moment, even though she was wearing a loose bathrobe, it couldn't hide her incredible curves. I took one glance and quickly looked away. Mishui, what a coincidence. I had no idea what else to say, so I just greeted her awkwardly. "Yeah, I didn't expect to bump into you here." Lin Mishui looked a bit awkward too, but honestly, there was a weird thrill to it. Her best friend Jo Na had literally just gotten divorced, and here she was, running into her ex-husband in a place like this. It made her feel like she was crossing some sort of forbidden line. About you and Nana. I just heard the news. It's such a shame, especially after all these years. I didn't expect it to end up like this." "It's not a shame at all," I replied. "You know how things were between us. Getting a divorce is a huge relief for both of us. We stayed together for the kid, but she's all grown up now. She understands. Instead of torturing each other, it's better to just let go. And let each other chase the lives we actually want." Lin Mishui smiled and said, "If you ask me, Nana just never knew how to appreciate what she had. Shu, you're such a good guy. You'll definitely find someone way better." Even though I knew she was just saying that to be nice, I still nodded politely and thanked her. "Oh, by the way, Mishui, what are you up to these days? Still working at that real estate office?" "Yeah, still there. It's been 5 or 6 years now. Haven't found anywhere better to go." Lin Mishui shook her head and let out a heavy sigh. "What's wrong? Isn't that the biggest real estate company in the area? I heard the pay there was pretty good." "Shu, that was back in the day. You know how terrible the housing market is right now. It's getting harder and harder to sell anything. We're basically broke right now," she said with another sigh. "Seriously? I don't buy that for a second. Anyway, speaking of houses, I actually had something I wanted to ask you about." Then, I remembered something. Jo Na and I just got divorced. I left with absolutely nothing, so right now, I literally have nowhere to live. I mean, I could squeeze into the company dorms, but come on, I am worth over 100 million now. I am definitely not putting myself through that misery again. What is it, Shu? Just tell me, if I can help, I absolutely will. Lin Mishui said with a big smile. She patted her chest confidently. Those 2 soft thuds made my heart race a little. "Do you have any fully furnished apartments? Something I can move into right away?" I asked. "Of course I do. Are you looking for a place, Shu?" Hearing my question, Lin Mixu's eyes immediately lit up. "Yeah, you know Jo Na and I split up. So, obviously, I need to find a new place," I said as casually as possible. "I absolutely do, Shu. I will take you to see them right now." Hearing what I said, Lin Mishui completely forgot about the sauna, grabbed my arm, and started dragging me outside. "What is the rush? I haven't even paid for my session yet. Finding a place to live is way more important. We can secure the apartment and come right back here after. Just wait for me right here for a second. Let me go get change." Hearing Lin Mishui say that, I actually gave it some thought. She made a pretty good point. Even though I am filthy rich right now, and definitely won't end up sleeping on the streets, buying a house is going to happen sooner or later. Since I bumped into Lin Mishui anyway, and she is being so enthusiastic about it, I might as well just go take a look. I sat in the lobby waiting for a bit, and Lin Mishui was already out in her regular clothes. It was just a simple work uniform, but Lin Mishui somehow managed to make it look incredibly stunning. I took a deep breath, trying my hardest to calm my racing heart. How are you getting there? I took a cab here. What about you? Lin Mishui asked while looking around. I rode my bike. How about we head over separately, and just meet up at the front door of your office? I suggested, as I walked toward my newly bought T-Max 560. Sure thing. Wait, is this your bike? Lin Mishui stopped mid-sentence when she saw me walking up to a seriously gorgeous motorcycle, and casually hopping right onto it. Yeah, I just bought it. I chimed in, answering as naturally as possible. I then strapped on my helmet. Lin Mishui kept talking, completely unable to stop checking it out. This is so cool. How much was this thing? Even though she did not know much about motorcycles, the absolute premium vibe of it told her that this ride was definitely not cheap. Right when I was struggling to figure out how to answer her. Nice ride, man. The brand new T-Max 560. A Harley roared and pulled up right next to us. The guy took off his helmet and greeted me like we were old buddies. This beast is super hard to get your hands on. Fully loaded, must be what, 170 or 80,000? I smiled and nodded my head. I chatted with him casually for a bit. The guy had no idea, but his words definitely hit the mark. When she heard that this badass-looking motorcycle cost almost 180 grand, Lin Mixu's eyes widened in total shock. She had been grinding at Hengshan Real Estate for over 6 years, and only last year finally bit the bullet to buy a cheap little compact car just for commuting. Even for that, she had to set up a payment plan. But this two-wheeled motorcycle right in front of her was literally worth 2 of her little cars. Lin Mishui did not know much about motorcycles. She just couldn't understand why a motorcycle would cost even more than a car. Looking at me, Lin Mishui suddenly realized she couldn't figure me out anymore. She had heard Joe Na say that I handed over my entire paycheck every single month, and that my monthly allowance never went over 500. Yet, right after the divorce, I was decked out in designer clothes. And now, I was riding such an expensive motorcycle. Could this guy actually be a secret billionaire? Had he just been playing dumb all this time? But with how shrewd Joe Na was, there was no way she wouldn't have noticed after all this time. Lin Mishui felt like she had stumbled upon a massive secret. Brother Shu, how about I just ride on your motorcycle? Grabbing a cab is such a hassle, and it's not nearly as fast anyway. Sure, hop on. Hearing Lin Mishui say that, I didn't think much of it and just patted the back seat, motioning for her to get on. After settling onto the passenger seat, she stared at my back, hesitated for a brief moment, then reached out and gently wrapped her arms around my waist. Feeling her soft little hands pressing against my sides, I couldn't help but shiver. I tried my best to push those distracting thoughts out of my head and focused on driving, merging smoothly into the flow of traffic. Once we walked into the sales center lobby, Lin Mishui instantly snapped into professional mode. She grabbed a thick binder of property listings and flipped through it while asking, "Brother Shu, what kind of place are you looking to rent?" "I'm looking for something fully furnished. A place I can move into right away. But I'm not looking to rent. If there's a good one, I want to buy it outright." Hearing that, Lin Mishui was completely taken aback. She honestly never expected that right after getting divorced from Joe Na, this guy would immediately be buying a house. Seeing the utter shock on her face, I found it a bit funny, but honestly, it also felt pretty damn good. But I didn't mind this side of her at all. We were all adults, after all. Who doesn't have an ulterior motive? Especially someone like Lin Mishui, who was not only beautiful but knew exactly how to use her assets. Honestly, watching this woman get shocked over and over again was actually pretty fun. Renting is just too much of a hassle, and then you have to deal with moving later. Do me a favor and check if the Jinjiang Gardens community has any luxury flats that fit my criteria. Oh, and it absolutely has to be fully furnished. It needs to be ready to move in right now. Renovating it myself would be way too annoying," I said with a smile. A luxury flat in Jinjiang Gardens? Hearing that, Lin Mishui honestly wondered if she was hallucinating. Jinjiang Gardens? That was literally the most exclusive neighborhood in the entire city. Built right along the river, it sat right in the heart of downtown, offering a peaceful oasis in the bustling city. Inside the community, most of the buildings were low-rise elevator villas under 6 floors. And the crown jewel of the central sector featured massive luxury flats over 600 square meters. Lin Mixue had only toured the model units twice with clients before. The sheer, unparalleled luxury of the place hadn't just left her completely awestruck. It had made her almost go crazy with sheer jealousy. And yet, this guy who always seemed so hopelessly average, was actually going to buy a luxury flat in Jinjiang Gardens? Was she dreaming? Brother Shu, you're not messing with me, are you? The housing prices in Jinjiang Garden are nearly 30,000 a square meter. The smallest large flats are over 200 square meters. Only 200 square meters? That's a bit small. I remember when the promotional ads were out. The premium unit in the center was a fully furnished luxury flat of 680 square meters. Is it still available now? Shu, why are you asking about this? Lin Mixue asked, stuttering a little. Why'd I ask? To buy it, of course. Or am I just asking for fun? I said, finding it somewhat amusing. Arriving at room 601, Lin Mixue nervously opened the door and changed my shoe covers for me again. The two of us then walked straight inside. The moment we stepped in, even before seeing the main living room, I was captivated by the massive entryway right in front of me. Compared to this place, that small 106 square meter 3-bedroom apartment I lived in before felt as cramped as a slum. Moving on to the master bedroom, seeing that super large 2.2 meter bed, the look of satisfaction in my eyes grew even stronger. Such a spacious solid wood bed just looks incredibly comfortable. Of course, if I had a beautiful woman to keep me company, that would be even better. At this thought, I couldn't help but glance at Lin Mixue beside me. In all fairness, even though Lin Mixue was already in her 30s, that mature charm of hers was definitely not something young, inexperienced girls could match. I'd give her at least an 85 out of 100. As if sensing my gaze, Lin Mixue's face grew a bit hot, but she didn't avoid my eyes. There was even a hint of secret delight deep in her eyes. After checking out the bedroom, and taking a quick stroll through the other rooms, I was extremely satisfied. How much is this place? It's a set price of 30 million. How about this, Shu, I'll take you to look at some other houses. Lin Mixue said in a low voice. No need to look further, this is the one. Let's do the paperwork, I said in a relaxed and cheerful tone. What, Shu, you want to buy this apartment? This place costs 30 million. Hearing my words, Lin Mixue's eyes instantly widened. What, Shu, you want to buy this apartment? This place costs 30 million. Yeah, I'm very happy with this house. Don't tell me this place isn't for sale? I said, half joking, looking at Lin Mixue, and how she was repeatedly shocked by me. My wicked sense of humor was immensely satisfied. Lin Mixue nodded with difficulty and went downstairs with me to prepare the paperwork. She was in a daze the whole way, right up until the moment I pulled out my bank card, ready to swipe. Only then did she seem to snap out of it. The premium unit of Jinjiang Garden selling for 30 million. Alarmed even the sales manager. Everyone in the sales office crowded around Lin Mixue and me, watching as I inserted my bank card into the POS machine. I entered the password, and the payment went through successfully. Watching the long receipt print out from the POS machine. Congratulations, Mr. Shu, on becoming our most esteemed owner at Jinjiang Garden. With that, he led the entire sales office staff in giving me a deep, collective bow. It's really, actually sold. Watching the scene unfold before her, Lin Mixue swallowed hard. Lin, Mr. Shu is our most esteemed owner. From now on, you'll be responsible for assisting him all the way. No matter what Mr. Shu asks for, you must meet his needs unconditionally. Do you understand? The manager walked over to Lin Mixue's side, listening to the serious implication behind Manager Ma's words, especially that part about unconditional satisfaction. Lin Mixue seemed to realize something. She blushed and nodded, coming out of Hengshan Real Estate again. Sitting on the back of my motorcycle this time, Lin Mixue naturally wrapped her arms around my waist. Once the bike started, she hesitated for a moment, then gently pressed her body against my back. As I was focusing on riding, I suddenly felt a warm, soft sensation against my back, making me grip the handlebars tight. Thankfully, the high-end motorcycle had excellent balance, so we didn't crash. On the back seat, Lin Mixue's heart was racing. She tried to sit up straight a few times, but thinking about that ultra-luxury, 680 square meter penthouse in Jinjiang Gardens, she just couldn't bring herself to do it. Finally, she just buried her face in my back. Breathing in the faint, premium leather scent of my jacket, she actually felt a little intoxicated. Yintai Department Store, the largest and most luxurious mall in the city. Just a few hours ago, I was right here buying myself a whole new wardrobe. I spent over 200,000 then. I didn't expect to be back so soon. In the past, I'd barely set foot in a high-end place like this twice a year. We walked into the mall side by side. On the way, I could feel the envious, jealous stares of quite a few men as we headed straight to the 4th floor. At Lin Mixu's suggestion, I bought 4 sets of premium, designer bedding. I also picked up some household essentials, dropping another 100,000 or so. Watching me go on a shopping spree without even blinking, Lin Mixu's eyes sparkled brighter and brighter. She was practically melting. This familiar man beside her seemed larger than life in her eyes. My mysterious new aura gave her an intense urge to figure me out. The 100,000 worth of bedding filled several huge bags. Naturally, the store offered full delivery service. I just swiped my card, left the address, and walked away. I took Lin Mixue down to the 2nd floor, which was full of high-end luxury boutiques. We walked straight into a designer store, just as Lin Mixue was staring at the room full of bags and clothes. With a longing look in her eyes, I casually grabbed a women's handbag off the shelf. "Hello, sir. This is our brand's newest handbag of the season. It perfectly matches your lady's elegant vibe. It's 28,000 yuan. I'll take it," I said casually. I swiped my card to pay, then took the handbag from the salesgirl and handed it right to Lin Mixue. "It's yours." Lin Mixue gasped in surprise. "You've been walking around with me all day, you must be tired." "Just a little gift." I gently patted the back of her hand and said with a smile, "Thank you so much, Shu." Lin Mixue was absolutely thrilled. She thanked me and kept admiring the bag over and over. She loved it more by the second. But right then, a rather sharp woman's voice rang out. "Mimi, what are you doing here with him?" "Nana?" Lin Mixue looked up and saw Zhou Na standing at the entrance. She never expected her to show up here. And right beside her was a man. Lin Mixue recognized him immediately. It was Zhou Na's first love, Ma Zhendong. The 4 of us stared at each other, and the atmosphere instantly froze. At the store entrance, me, Lin Mixue, my ex-wife Zhou Na, and Ma Zhendong. The 4 of us stood face to face. We were dead silent for a good 10 seconds. Zhou Na finally couldn't hold it in, and broke the silence first. "Shu Fuhai, what the hell is going on? Why are you with Mixue?" Her tone was full of interrogation, and she looked absolutely furious. Because she had just noticed that in Mixu's hand was a designer bag. Looking at the style, it had to be this year's latest release. Even though she and Mixue were best friends, whether at work or in life, Zhou Na always loved to secretly compete. That new handbag cost at least 20 or 30,000. This instantly made her feel like the $6,000 bag Zhendong had just bought her lost all its appeal. What was even harder for her to accept was that we had just gotten divorced, and here I was, shopping at a luxury boutique with her best friend. This made her anger flare up instantly. Listening to her demanding questions, I kept a cold face, looking her and the man next to her up and down. I replied flatly, "Zhou Na, did you forget? Our divorce is finalized. Who I hang out with is none of your damn business." After saying that, my eyes swept over Zhendong. With a hint of mockery, I added, "Oh, right. Congratulations to you both. Now you can openly be a couple. No more racking your brains to make up those lame excuses about business trips. Working late to fool me." Hearing my words, a flash of embarrassment and rage crossed Zhou Na's face. The embarrassment was from her ex-husband exposing her dirty laundry in public. The rage was that someone as completely docile as me actually dared to speak to her in that tone. "Shu Fuhai, stop talking nonsense. What do you mean, making up excuses to fool you? Zhendong and I were just normal friends before. I always knew you were petty. Looking all honest and decent, but actually twisted in the head. Now you're finally showing your true colors, huh? I see right through you." I quietly watched Zhou Na stand there, fuming and trying her hardest to belittle me. I had endured scenes like this for 16 years. It was way too familiar. 16 years, and this woman hasn't changed a bit. In her eyes, it's always me wronging her, me not being good enough for her. Whenever she catches a chance, she puts me down and tears me down to nothing. If I didn't have a strong mind, I would have been tortured into self-doubt ages ago. I waited until Zhou Na was done talking. "Whatever is going on between you two, you don't need to explain it to me. And I couldn't care less what you think. I have things to do, so I'll get going. You two carry on." After saying that, I walked straight out of the store. Looking at my cold and indifferent expression, the fire in Jo Na's heart grew bigger and bigger. Somehow, even though they were already divorced, even though she had gotten her way, and walked away with all the assets, seeing me look like this, she just couldn't hold back her rage. This man, who in her eyes was an absolute loser. What gave him the right to ignore her like this? What did he have to be so proud of? She originally thought that seeing her with Zhendong, he would feel regret, feel jealous, or go crazy, but she didn't see any of that at all. And on top of that, he was already out shopping with another woman so quickly. And with her own best friend, no less. As I walked past her, Jo Na couldn't hold back her anger anymore and grabbed my arm hard. Shu Fuhai, if you don't explain yourself clearly today, don't even think about leaving. What the hell is wrong with you, Jo Na? We are already divorced. We have absolutely nothing to do with each other anymore. Do I really need to remind you again? Watching her clutching my clothes, I frowned and said. Jo Na completely ignored my question, because right at that moment, she noticed something unbelievable. The jacket I was wearing was actually from a high-end brand. The mannequin right next to her was wearing the exact same one. And the price tag was a whopping 28,000 bucks. Plus, the rest of my clothes didn't look like cheap knockoffs either. Jo Na always kept an eye on these luxury brands, so she recognized them at a glance. This made the fire in her heart burn even hotter. This guy actually bought such expensive clothes? You have to understand, she couldn't even bear to buy them for herself. The most expensive piece of clothing in her closet was only bought on sale for a little over 10,000 bucks. Right now, Jo Na was completely consumed by her own rage, totally forgetting that whenever she bought clothes for me, it was always cheap online shopping. Just some trashy street stall stuff for a few dozen bucks. Very rarely did they ever exceed 100. Wow, Shu Fuhai, you've got some nerve. Hiding behind my back and buying such expensive clothes. Where did you get the money? Did you secretly stash away money behind my back? How much do you have? At this moment, Jo Na was staring at me with wide eyes, completely losing her mind. Oh, so only you are allowed to wear designer clothes and use skincare sets that cost thousands of bucks. And I'm only allowed to wear cheap trash for a few dozen bucks? Also, Jo Na, let me remind you one more time. We are already divorced. What clothes I buy, and who I hang out with, is none of your damn business. Don't you think you're overstepping? I turned my head and glanced at Lin Mishui, who was standing there looking completely lost. A faint smirk appeared on my lips, and I waved for her to come over. Motioning for her. Right now, Lin Mishui was incredibly torn. Getting caught red-handed by her best friend, hanging out with her ex-husband, and having just accepted his gifts, she was already feeling pretty guilty. She was trying to figure out how to explain it all to Jo Na. But then, thinking about my massive spending spree this afternoon, thinking about that $30 million luxury mansion, after a brief struggle flashed in her eyes, she still obediently walked over to my side. Although I have no obligation to explain anything to you, since you're so desperate to know, I really don't mind telling you. As I said this, I glanced at Lin Mishui beside me. Seeing that although she was a bit embarrassed, she stood firmly behind me. Immediately understood what she was thinking. Mishui works in real estate sales. This afternoon, I bought a house at her company's Jinjiang Gardens. So her company sent her over to help me pick out some bedding. Got a problem with that? What, buying a house? Shu Fuhai, did you just say you bought a house? At Jinjiang Gardens? Hearing my words, Jo Na's face was full of sheer disbelief, her voice shooting up several pitches. Jinjiang Gardens was the star real estate brand of Fu City, sitting right in the absolute core district. Top-tier luxury mansions, the one who hadn't been able to get a word in before. Shu Fuhai, are you seriously telling me you bought a house in Jinjiang Gardens? That is just hilarious. He looked at me, clearly amused as he spoke. Do you have any idea how much it costs per square meter over there right now? Even knowing the man standing in front of him was Jo Na's ex-husband, Ma Zhendong couldn't care less. He had known for a long time that Jo Na's man was a notorious pushover. He never dared to show any temper around her. As for his job, he was just a regular employee at some small company, making a dead-end salary of barely 10,000 a month. He had worked there for over 10 years and hadn't even made it to middle management. In his eyes, a guy like that was nothing but a useless, pathetic loser. What was there to be afraid of? It was exactly because of this preconceived image of me that he couldn't hold back his mockery after hearing what I said. Hearing his insults, I slowly turned my head, and looked at him with dead calm eyes. Being stared down like that, Ma Zhendong inexplicably felt a sudden wave of panic. He sensed that I was completely different today from the pushover he remembered. Even though I didn't say a word, I was radiating an invisible, suffocating pressure. I stared him down for a brief moment, then looked away. I didn't want to start a fight with him right here. Not because I was scared, but because he simply wasn't worth it. He was just some petty boss running a mid-tier hotel. His entire net worth combined was maybe 20 to 30 million at best. In the past, Ma Zhendong would definitely have been someone I had to look up to. But now, setting aside the fact that I had nearly 70 million in hard cash sitting in my bank account, having the system was my true ultimate trump card. Of course, backing down from a fight right now didn't mean I was letting this go. As docile as I used to be, I'm still a man. Every single grudge, every ounce of humiliation they piled onto me. I remembered every single bit of it, and in the days to come, I would make them pay for it, piece by piece. But for now, I just collect a little interest. I turned to Lin Mishui standing beside me. Mishui, why don't you tell them? If I'm just being hilarious? Lin Mishui had been waiting for my cue. She was a little nervous at first, but the moment I said that, she instantly knew exactly what I meant. Nana, I'm so sorry. I really don't mean to rub salt in your wounds, but you were just so blind. You had a massive gold mine right in your hands and you let it slip away. Who else can you blame? With that thought flashing through her mind, Lin Mishui put on a flawless professional smile. She turned to Ma Zhendong and said politely, Mr. Shu Fuhai. Just paid 30 million in full this afternoon to purchase Building 6, the premium property in our Jinjiang Gardens. A massive 680 square meter luxury flat. He is our company's most valued VIP client. Her words instantly sucked all the air out of the room. Zhou Na and Ma Zhendong completely froze. Both of them struggled to process the absolute bombshell she just dropped. Zhou Na, especially, the moment she heard those blindingly obvious numbers, 30 million, 680 square meters. And luxury penthouse, her fingertips began to tremble uncontrollably. A wave of extreme dizziness hit her. Her first thought was that this was absolutely impossible. Zhou Na's mind was reeling in complete denial. She knew exactly what kind of man Shu Fuhai was. After sharing a bed with him for all those years, no one knew him better than she did. She had complete control over every single penny he had, let alone 30 million. He probably couldn't even scrape together 3,000 if his life depended on it. But Lin Mixu's confident look didn't seem like a lie. After all, something like this is incredibly easy to verify. Zhou Na stared dead into my eyes. The noise around us seemed to vanish in an instant. All the color drained from her face, and her knuckles turned completely white. Trembling, with a dark expression, she gritted out word by word, 30 million? Shu Fuhai, where on earth did you get that kind of money? Her shrill voice carried an undeniable shock, along with overwhelming anger and complete disbelief. Listening to my ex-wife Zhou Na's aggressively piercing questions, and that condescending, arrogant attitude of hers that hasn't changed in 16 long years. I just stood there and let out a deep sigh. For 16 whole years, I had been living in this suffocatingly toxic and oppressive atmosphere. Every single detail of this glaring scene right in front of me was all too familiar. I knew better than anyone just how much the number 30 million would trigger her. From the way she had just practically ground her teeth together to spit out that number, I could clearly feel her absolute loss of control and towering rage. But thankfully, this woman now has absolutely nothing to do with me anymore. That suffocatingly heavy air has completely become a thing of the distant past. I no longer had to constantly walk on eggshells for my daughter's sake. No longer had to swallow my pride and force myself to hold together a painfully fake, picture-perfect family that was actually shattered and rotting from the inside out. I made it myself, is that a problem? After coldly dropping those words one by one, my icy gaze slowly swept over both her and Ma Zhendong. One more time, Zhou Na, just because I don't bring certain things up doesn't mean I'm totally blind to them. Ask your own conscience. After all the filthy things you've done, do you even have the nerve to question me? After saying that, I completely ignored whatever face she was making, shoved her hand off, and walked right out of there without even looking back. She never in a million years expected that the man who had been her obedient doormat for 16 years would actually dare to speak to her like that. Shu Fuhai, you listen to me. If you don't give me a straight answer right now, I will make your life a living hell. Hearing Jo Na's hysterical screaming behind me, I just waved my hand dismissively without turning around. The man I am now has a completely different mindset. A brand new life is waiting for me, and I refuse to be mentally abused by this woman ever again. After I left, the three of them stood there in awkward silence. Lin Mixue tried to calm things down, but that only poured gasoline on Jo Na's raging fire. She got more and more hysterical, totally ignoring the growing crowd around them, spilling out all their dirty laundry right there. Watching this mess unfold, Lin Mixue just stood there, secretly shaking her head in disbelief. Having known each other for so many years, she knew Jo Na's explosive temper better than anyone. She could only assume that my dropping straight cash for a whole house had really pushed her over the edge this time. Otherwise, she would never have made such a crazy scene in front of everyone like this. Because if there was one thing her best friend cared about most, it was her precious public image. In saving face. Meanwhile, Ma Zhendong just stood on the sidelines, watching coldly. Seeing this whole pathetic display, his face instantly twisted into a look of pure, undisguised disgust and annoyance. He had only been sneaking around with this woman because Jo Na was somewhat pretty. Add the fact that she was a married woman, and it gave him some sick, taboo sense of thrill and excitement. But he never in a million years expected that Jo Na would actually go through with the divorce so decisively. And right after the divorce, she immediately ran over to him, beaming with joy, bringing up marriage. Plus, with Jo Na just making such a massive, hysterical scene in public at the mall, whatever tiny bit of fragile affection she had barely managed to build up in his heart before instantly vanished into thin air. And, watching Jo Na completely lose it in front of everyone, a weird mix of feelings unexpectedly welled up inside him. He actually felt a deep wave of sympathy for me, the guy who had just turned around and walked away without looking back. That poor guy actually lived with this fiery, stubborn woman, side by side for 16 whole years, day after day of endless time. Naturally, the two of them couldn't just watch Jo Na, right in the middle of a crowded, bustling mall, continue to make a public fool of herself. Seeing the crowd of onlookers growing bigger and bigger, whispering and pointing, even the mall security guards were starting to hurry over. The two of them scrambled frantically, coaxing and dragging her away as fast as they could. After struggling to finally settle down the emotionally wrecked Jo Na, Lin Mixue took a cab alone back to the old, rundown apartment she'd rented for ages. Lying in the dead of night on her tiny single bed, she tossed and turned, completely unable to sleep. Her mind kept flashing back to vivid scenes of everything that went down this afternoon. She turned her head and looked at that limited edition designer handbag she had carefully placed on the cabinet. Under the dim yellow light, it radiated a chic, luxurious vibe, completely out of place in this 50-plus square meter cramped and messy rental. Out of nowhere, my face and that 680 square meter mansion popped perfectly into her head. She kept thinking about this afternoon, when I casually glanced at her, unintentionally showing that warm, deep and complex look in my eyes. A crazy, bold thought started growing out of control deep inside her. The moment this thought popped up, Lin Mixue completely scared herself. What are you thinking? That's Nana's ex-husband, but that mansion was just so gorgeous. No way, I absolutely cannot betray Nana. But look at yourself, Lin Mixue. You've been scraping by in this city for over 10 years, and you haven't even managed to get your own place. Isn't that a failure? Besides, they're both divorced now anyway. What do you have to worry about? The opportunity is right in front of you. If you miss this, you'll regret it forever. Two voices kept fighting back and forth in her head. After struggling for a moment, Lin Mixue finally let out a long, heavy sigh. Her eyes landed on the handbag on the cabinet once again. That bag seemed to hold some kind of magic. It made her make up her mind. She grabbed her phone, scrolled to my number, and hit call. Once the line connected, I answered with a nonchalant laugh. She could hear that the whole thing really didn't bother me at all. You're always so generous, Brother Shu, and understanding. Nana is just way too stubborn sometimes. She only cares about herself, and never thinks about how others feel. Honestly, watching the way she treats you sometimes just breaks my heart. But don't worry, Brother Shu. If Nana ever treats you like that again, I'll definitely give her a piece of my mind for you. After saying all this, Lin Mixue blushed slightly, talking trash about her best friend behind her back, even though she'd done it plenty of times before. Doing it with her best friend's ex-husband was a first in her life. And she actually used such an affectionate word like heartache. Her fingertips gently gripped the hem of her shirt. Her eyes lowered, emotions churning inside. Her heart was pounding like crazy. She had no idea what Brother Shu would think after hearing that. On the other end of the phone, I leaned back on the couch in my new place, my fingers absent-mindedly rubbing my phone. Hearing Lin Mixu's words, I froze for a second. I completely didn't expect her to say something like that to me. But, thinking back to this afternoon, and how she acted when we were together, it didn't really surprise me that much. You know what they say, birds of a feather flock together. For Lin Mixue to be best friends with my ex-wife, Jo Na, for all these years. They must be cut from the exact same cloth. They naturally share some very similar traits. Both of them are the kind of vain women who are obsessed with material wealth and luxury. It's just that sometimes, my ex-wife Jo Na was a lot more blunt about it. While Lin Mixue knows how to package herself and hide it better. To put it bluntly, she's what you'd call a scheming woman. I might have been an honest guy in the past, but that doesn't mean I can't read people, or that I don't understand women. Thanks for caring, Mixue. She's always been like that. There's no point talking about her. Besides, I'm not afraid of her bothering me again. I've been mentally prepared for that. Lin Mixue softly chimed in, saying, "Those bed sheets and things we bought this afternoon, did the store deliver them yet?" Her voice carried a genuine eagerness as she asked, "Oh, they just got here. I'm opening the boxes right now." My eyes swept across the scattered cardboard boxes in the living room. As I chuckled in response, "There's plastic wrapping all over the place. There's not even room to step." Hearing this, Lin Mixue immediately offered with enthusiasm, "Really? Then, how about I come over and help you tidy up, Brother Shu?" Her voice carried a barely hidden mix of nervousness and excitement. Honestly, when she shifted the topic to the bedding just now, this was exactly what she was aiming for. "Oh, I couldn't ask you to do that. That's way too much trouble for you," I smiled, politely declining. "I already made you run around with me for half the day, and I haven't even properly thanked you yet." "Oh, come on, Brother Shu. Why are you acting like a stranger with me? You buying that house this afternoon gave my sales numbers a huge boost. And you even bought me a designer bag. Speaking of thanking someone, I'm the one who should be properly thanking you." Before I could say another word, she insisted on coming over right now to help make the bed, teasing that a grown man wouldn't know how to handle these things. "Alright, come on over then. When we're done, I'll treat you to a massive feast." I agreed with a laugh over the phone. Lin Mixue happily accepted, and hung up in a hurry, almost as if she was terrified I'd change my mind. She ran out to catch a cab. Just over 30 minutes later, the car pulled up to the gates of Jinjiang Gardens. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, a massive family storm was brewing in the apartment Jo Na and I used to share. When Feng Yufeng heard that Xu Fuhai had bought a 30 million yuan house in Jinjiang Gardens, she instantly dropped her rolling pin, completely abandoning the dumplings she was making. She rushed out of the kitchen. Zhou Xiaodong, who had been playing video games, sprang to his feet and asked, "Sis, you saying my brother-in-law spent 30 million yuan on a house? Did you see it with your own eyes?" "I didn't see it myself," Zhou Na replied, "but Mixue told me personally." Why would she lie? Zhou Na gritted her teeth, her voice dripping with absolute resentment. Right now, his mind was completely consumed by the 30 million, and Jinjiang Gardens. Feng Yufeng hurriedly pressed her. "Did Lin Mixue really tell you all this? How on earth would she know? Isn't it obvious? She sells houses for a living. When Xu Fuhai wanted to buy one, of course she's the first person he'd go to." Zhou Na said through gritted teeth. "I was completely blind to that bastard Xu Fuhai. I had no idea he was hiding his true colors so deeply all these years. To think Xu Fuhai had so much money, and he never breathed a single word to you. He never treated us like real family." Hearing her daughter's words, Feng Yufeng slapped her thigh hard and shrieked. Even Zhou Xiaodong abandoned his video game, and chimed in, "Man, my brother-in-law is sneaky. I never realized he was so calculating. If he can drop 30 million on a house, he's definitely sitting on way more than 30 million. He said this while his eyes darted around greedily. "Xiaodong, why are you still calling him your brother-in-law? Does a scumbag like that even deserve the title?" Feng Yufeng immediately snapped at Zhou Xiaodong. "We lived under the same roof for 16 years. 16 whole years, yet he guarded his money from us like we were a bunch of thieves. And now, the second he divorces your sister, he's in such a rush to buy a massive mansion. All for his own selfish pleasure. How could he be so heartless? At this point, Feng Yufeng threw her head back and started wailing at the top of her lungs in the living room. What the hell are you howling about? Can't a man get a moment of peace? Zhou Linsheng, who was sitting at the side table drinking and munching on peanuts, was getting severely irritated by the racket. He slammed his chopsticks down with a crack. You useless old fool, she screamed back. Your own flesh and blood has been wronged like this, and you're just sitting there drinking? Feng Yufeng cursed, glaring at him with pure rage. All you do is drink every damn day. You're going to drink yourself into an early grave. Since you retired, you haven't lifted a single finger. You just sit at home guzzling booze. This is exactly why I say you women are utterly short-sighted. Shu Fuhai hid his money behind Nana's back, only to whip it out and spend it after the divorce. The law doesn't allow that. That's called concealing marital assets. We can sue him for it, got it? After Zhou Linsheng dropped this bombshell, he picked up his glass, took a harsh swig of liquor, and slammed the cup back onto the table with a loud smack. That sudden sound instantly silenced the whole family. Hearing the old man's words, Zhou Xiaodong, who was sitting on the couch, widened his eyes in excitement and quickly agreed, yeah. Dad's right, I remember seeing a news story online exactly like this. In the end, the guy had no choice but to cough up the money and split it. I think they split a few $1,000,000 too. Zhou Xiaodong said, his eyes gleaming with greed, as if those millions were already waving right at him. He's right, Nana, your father is absolutely right. We have to sue him. We absolutely cannot let him get away with this. We'll make him spit out every single penny he's hiding. Empowered by her husband's words, Feng Yufeng instantly got fired up and shrieked, exactly. We can't let him off the hook. I stayed with that bastard for so many years. And I never enjoyed a single day of luxury. Now he wants to live the high life all by himself? Not a chance. Zhou Na spat bitterly, her mind already racing with calculations on how to pull this off. Zhou Linsheng furrowed his brow, mulling it over for a moment, before slowly speaking to his daughter. Don't go rushing to confront Shu Fuhai just yet, he said. I have an old colleague, who later passed the bar exam. He's working as a lawyer at a firm right now. I'll give him a call tomorrow, and then you can go see him. We need to figure out exactly how to handle this. Zhou Na agreed bitterly, alright, Dad, I'll go see a lawyer tomorrow. I need to get to the bottom of this first. Shu Fuhai thinks he can just go off and live the good life? No way, I am not done with him. Feng Yufeng suddenly remembered something and quickly asked, oh, right, Nana. You just said that at the designer boutique in the mall, you bumped into Shu Fuhai and Lin Mishui. Wasn't he just buying a house from her? Why were they out shopping at the mall? Zhou Na frowned, and replied impatiently, didn't I just tell you? After buying the house, he wanted to get some bedding. So Mixu's company had her tag along to help him pick things out. Feng Yufeng still looked completely unconvinced. She asked suspiciously, but why would they go to a designer boutique for bedding? That brand doesn't even sell bedding, do they? You're right, Mom, now that you mention it, I feel like something's off, too. When Shu Fuhai came out, he was decked out in designer labels. Nothing but high-end clothes. Mishui was carrying a designer handbag. I saw that exact bag in the store before. It costs over 20,000 yuan. Zhou Na said, her eyes burning with jealousy. She had been wanting that bag for ages, but just couldn't bring herself to spend the money. You don't think those two are hooking up, do you? Feng Yufeng frowned, lowering her voice as she speculated. Hearing her mother's words, Zhou Na instantly panicked, and snapped angrily, Mom, what the hell are you talking about? Mishui is my best friend. She would never do something like that. I wouldn't be so sure. You two are divorced now. And Shu Fuhai is suddenly rolling in cash. Do you really think Lin Mishui can resist that? Don't let her innocent act fool you. Let me tell you. That woman is sharp. With your naive little mind, you might not be able to outsmart her. Feng Yufeng paused, noticing her daughter's expression turning sour. Knowing she had struck a nerve, she pressed on, just look at the way she dresses. Always wearing those skin-tight clothes. What man could possibly resist her when she flaunts it like that? Hearing her mother's words, Zhou Na felt a mix of anxiety and rage. Her fingertips turned cold, and her chest tightened. She couldn't help but look down at her own fitted clothes. Thinking back to when she and Shu Fuhai were still intimate, Shu Fuhai could never even be bothered to touch her there. She had even cried and blown up at him about it a few times. demanding to know if he found her undesirable. Every time she asked, Shu Fuhai would frantically wave his hands and deny it completely. Deep down, Jo Na still felt like he was disgusted by her. Ignorance is bliss, until you compare yourself to others. Whenever she was with Lin Mishui, Jo Na was incredibly jealous of her impressive assets. But whenever she let that jealousy show, Lin Mishui would lean in and whisper her complaints. Putting on a sad face, she'd say how much she envied Jo Na's slender figure, claiming her smaller size was actually perfect. "It's so pretty and light," she would say, "and it's so much easier to pull off cute outfits. Unlike me, everything gets in the way, and I can never find clothes that fit right." Every time Lin Mishui said things like that, it made Jo Na feel a little better about herself. It made her feel like she wasn't completely undesirable. As for Shu Fuhai's lack of interest, that was just him being a blind idiot with terrible taste. But now, after hearing what her mother, Feng Yufeng, just said, a sudden wave of suspicion crept into Jo Na's mind. Today, she had been too busy throwing a fit and arguing with Shu Fuhai. But thinking back on it now, when she first saw the two of them, things were definitely a little off. They were supposedly just buying bedding. So why did they go to such a high-end, luxury brand store? And that bag in Lin Mixu's hand, did she buy it herself? Or was it a gift from Shu Fuhai? He was suddenly so rich now. So buying her a designer bag wasn't completely out of the question, right? Her chest tightened. The mere thought of that possibility felt like needles piercing her heart. It drove her absolutely crazy. She wanted nothing more than to just throw caution to the wind right then and there. Rush right up to them, and demand a clear explanation to their faces. But she also knew she couldn't rush this. For one, the two of them were already divorced. And secondly, the absolute most important thing on her mind right now was getting her hands on Shu Fuhai's money. As for whether something was going on between those two, she could take her time investigating after she secured the cash. It wasn't like Jo Na hadn't suspected the two of them before. She was actually pretty confident about Shu Fuhai. That honest guy might have the desire, but he definitely didn't have the guts. Lin Mishui, however, was a different story. Her mother's words made all her old suspicions bubble back up. She really wondered if Lin Mishui had actually set her sights on him. Just thinking about it made a bitter wave of jealousy wash over her. She couldn't stop her mind from picturing all sorts of wild scenarios. But what she didn't know was that the very thing she was dreading most was quietly unfolding right at that moment. Over at Jinjiang Gardens, in the prime location of Building 6, inside a lavish, 680 square meter mansion, Lin Mishui was bent over, working up a sweat helping me make the bed. Even though the store's delivery guys were supposed to handle the setup, Lin Mishui claimed the workers weren't careful enough, and took it upon herself to shoo them all away. She only let the staff clear out the packaging trash from the living room, before grabbing the rest of the unmade bedding and burying herself in the work. After wrestling with it for quite a while, trying to stuff the duvet into the cover over and over again, with absolutely no luck, she finally gave up and called out to me. "Old Shu, come over here and help me out. The bedding for this master bedroom is just way too big. I can't get it in by myself." Holding up the fluffy duvet and cover, Lin Mishui had bent over and tried several times on her own, but couldn't manage to get it right, leaving her no choice but to helplessly call me over to lend a hand. I walked up with a smile and said, "Who told you to show off? This was never a one-person job to begin with. Come on, I'm a pro at this. I used to do it all the time back home." Earlier, while Lin Mishui was busy working on her own, I had tried to step in and help several times. But she just smiled and pushed me away, telling me that a grown man shouldn't be doing such delicate, womanly chores. Right now, Lin Mishui was wearing a light-colored, pure cotton t-shirt. The fitted waistline perfectly showed off every curve of her absolutely stunning figure. She bent over to stuff the bedding, sometimes kneeling on the mattress, and sometimes leaning far forward. Every single natural movement was an absolute feast for the eyes, and Lin Mishui didn't seem to shy away from my gaze at all. A few times, she leaned over so far that I almost lost my composure entirely. I honestly couldn't help but wonder if she was doing it on purpose. Watching me firmly tuck the corner of the duvet right into the cover, easily sliding the fluffy blanket inside, Lin Mixu's eyes instantly lit up. She giggled and looked at me, saying, "Wow, old Shu, you really are amazing." I raised an eyebrow, casually glancing over at her right next to me. I didn't say much, and we quickly finished making the bed together. I looked at the neatly made bed, and smiled as I made a suggestion. By the way, we've been working at this for a while. You must be tired, huh? It's right around dinner time. Let's go grab something to eat. Hearing about food, Lin Mixu's eyes instantly lit up. She hopped right off the bed. Oh, yes, please. Brother Shu, you promised me a massive feast. Don't even think about brushing me off with spicy hot pot. Seeing her jumping for joy, I raised an eyebrow. And laughed. We quickly changed into some nice clothes to head out. Walking side by side downstairs, I said, don't be silly. Do you really think your brother's Shu is that cheap? I pushed out my motorcycle. I turned the key and started the engine. Lin Mixue naturally threw her leg over. And hopped right on. Sitting behind me, she reached down to feel the seat cushion. She dramatically gasped, wow, brother Shu. This seat is incredibly soft and comfortable. I guess that's what an over 100,000 yuan bike gets you. It feels even better than a car. Is it really that soft? Didn't you already ride this once today? I asked, handing her a helmet, and telling her to put it on. Well, I just can't get enough of it. Lin Mixue laughed as she strapped on her helmet. I patted my waist and said, just call me whenever you want a ride. Brother Shu will take you out for a spin every single day. Lin Mixue got the hint and wrapped her arms around my waist. We took a left and reached the pedestrian street in just 2 minutes. Walking to the main area, I chose Peninsula Bistro and led her inside. Good evening, sir. Welcome to Peninsula Bistro. Do you have a reservation? The moment we walked in, a waiter politely came over to greet us. Do we actually need a reservation here? I looked up at the waiter and asked. Usually no, sir, but some of our VIP private rooms with a minimum spend require booking ahead. The waiter replied with a polite, slight bow. Oh, are there any private rooms available right now? I tapped my fingers lightly on the counter, and continued to ask. The Milan cabin on the first floor, and the Riverview lounge on the second floor, are both still unbooked. These are both premium VIP rooms. The minimum spend for the Milan cabin is 5,800, and for the Riverview lounge, it's 8,888. After finishing his introduction, the waiter noticed I was quiet. He quickly added, sir, we do have plenty of seats over in the main dining area. If it's just the two of you dining, sitting there is perfectly fine too. No need, we'll take the second floor. I had just spaced out for a moment. It wasn't because I thought the room fee was too expensive. It was just my first time here. And looking at the incredibly luxurious decor had me a bit distracted. Spending 8,888 was basically pocket change with my current net worth. It wouldn't hurt my wallet at all. Brother Shu, we don't need to do that, right? We can just sit in the main area and grab a casual bite. Hearing that massive minimum spend, Lin Mixue quickly spoke up. Nonsense. Haven't you ever heard the saying? A woman should never just settle for casual. Hearing her words, I smiled. Shu, you're such a tease. You know perfectly well that's not what I meant. Lin Mixue pouted playfully. Alright, it's settled then. Take us up, I said in a tone that left no room for argument. Right away, sir. Miss, please come this way, the waiter said politely, acting as if he hadn't noticed our little flirtatious banter just now. Wow, Shu, it's so beautiful in here. The vibe is absolutely amazing. I looked around the private room in front of us, and a look of satisfaction filled my eyes. They called it a private room, but it was actually a semi-open layout. The inner room was an elegantly decorated dining area, furnished with warm, textured solid wood tables and chairs. Pushing open the terrace doors, revealed a small viewing balcony outside. It was surrounded by a scattering of tall and short, green plants and flowers. Right in the middle of the terrace sat a small table just big enough for 2 people to sit face to face. Its creamy white tone perfectly complemented the surrounding flora, making you feel as if you were stepping into a quiet, secret garden. Directly across from the terrace was the vast Jin River. Under the cover of night, it reflected half the city's bustling lights. An absolutely intoxicating sight. It really is nice. I nodded in praise, then took a seat on the terrace chair. Sir, please take a look at the menu. These dishes are our restaurant's signature specials. We highly recommend you give them a try. And as luck would have it, we are offering M12 grade Wagyu beef today, the waiter introduced with a bow. Looks great. I'll take this black truffle. And 1 order of the baked Boston lobster and king crab. Oh, and this one too. Looking over the fancy menu, I rattled off 5 or 6 dishes without pausing. That should cover the basics. Just pair the desserts and drinks as you see fit. And open a bottle of house wine. After speaking, I handed the menu back to the waiter. Right away, sir. Please wait a moment. We will prepare it immediately. The waiter took back the menu, his expression growing even more respectful. The main courses I just ordered roughly added up to over 10,000, plus that bottle of dry red for over 6,000, making it nearly a 20,000 bill. Even in a high-end restaurant like this, that was considered a massive expense. Shoo, aren't we wasting food by ordering so much? Lin Mixue asked, her eyes brimming with sheer anticipation and excitement. It's fine as long as it tastes good, I said, waving it off. My sheer generosity left Lin Mixue completely swooning. The dishes arrived one after another. Seeing the mouth-watering food, Lin Mixue gasped in constant amazement, and my appetite surged as well. Wow, the meat on this lobster is so tender. And this wagyu is insanely good. It's absolutely to die for. Sitting at the dining table in the exquisite, warm-lit private booth, I watched Lin Mixue sit across from me, stuffing her face with huge bites without caring about her image. I didn't hold back either. With a relaxed, smiling gaze, I joyfully feasted on the table full of fresh, savory delicacies. The two of us ate, drank, and chatted casually. This meal lasted for over an hour from start to finish. After we had our fill of food and wine, I called the waiter over to foot the bill. This meal ended up costing a full 23,000 or so. Watching me swipe my card to pay without even blinking an eye, Lin Mixue's heart pounded violently out of control once again, finding me indescribably charming in this very moment. She wondered, was this really the same Shu Fuhai she used to know? Had he been possessed by some crazy rich heir? Lin Mixue thought to herself on the ride back. The night air carried a cool evening breeze, and the wind howled past our ears. Sitting on the back of my motorcycle, Lin Mixue gently wrapped her arms around my waist. As she pressed her body against mine even tighter than before, I spoke up and asked her. It's getting pretty late. Are you heading back to your place, or do you want to crash at mine for the night? You can just head straight to work tomorrow, I added casually as we rode. Shoo, my place is actually pretty far from here. Going all the way back alone is a bit of a hassle. Plus, it's not safe to travel at night, and the roads over there are pretty rough. If you don't mind, could I just crash at your place for the night? Let me experience what it actually feels like to stay in a luxury mansion. Lin Mixue teased playfully. Ha ha ha, alright then, let's head home then. Hearing what she said, I let out a loud laugh and agreed. Once we arrived back at my spacious, brightly lit place, the warm yellow lighting cast a soft glow on her. I looked up and saw Lin Mixue standing by the door of the guest bedroom, completely frozen in her tracks. But her eyes, they were staring longingly at the massive bed in my master bedroom. Seeing her like this, a knowing smile crept into my eyes. I couldn't help but chuckle out loud. I smiled at her and said, Mixue, the bed in my room is way too big. I'm just not used to sleeping in it all by myself. The night quietly slipped away, the soft blankets wrapping us in absolute warmth. By the time the sun was high in the sky the next morning, I slowly stretched and got out of bed, feeling incredibly refreshed. Seeing Lin Mixue trying to cling to me again, I reached out and gently held her by the shoulders. I looked at her seriously and said, Hey, don't do that. Getting too cozy like this makes it easy for people to get the wrong idea. It wouldn't be good if they thought something was going on between us. Lin Mixue froze for a second. She looked into my eyes and instantly understood what I meant. Alright, I get it. I'll be careful from now on, Shoo. She nodded her head, flashing a natural smile as she replied, Alright. Come on, let's go buy you a car. I need to get one for myself anyway. Riding a motorcycle every single day just isn't practical. It's fine for a joyride every now and then, but it's a terrible way to commute to work. Wait, you're still going to work? Lin Mixue mumbled through a mouthful of toothpaste as she washed up in the bathroom. Yeah, I can't just quit my job. I've been doing it for years. I've grown attached to my coworkers. Thinking about the guys back in the office, I let out a little chuckle. So, Shoo, what kind of car are you planning to buy? Lin Mixue asked curiously. A top-tier luxury sedan. I replied without even skipping a beat. Back when I was broke, I used to dream about that car all the time. Now that I've got the cash, it's time to make that dream come true. What about me? Lin Mixue asked, her curiosity piquing. Maybe a solid mid-size sedan for you, I suggested. Why that one? Lin Mixue pressed on. Because it's a size bigger than Joe Nas, I said with a smirk. Oh, Shu, you are unbelievable. Lin Mishui burst out laughing. We kept chatting casually, getting dressed and heading out the door together. Since we were going car shopping, we skipped the motorcycle this time and just hailed a cab right outside. We headed straight for the massive East Suburb Auto Market in Fu City, making a beeline directly for the dealership of our target brand. I paid nearly 400,000 in full for Lin Mixu's car, and left the insurance and registration stuff entirely to the dealership. Then, the two of us hit up another brand's dealership. This time, it took a bit longer. I bought the only fully loaded black luxury sedan they had on the lot, right then and there. It even shocked the manager, who came out personally to handle the paperwork. Nearly 4 million paid in full, out the door. It let Lin Mishui once again truly witness my absolute, massive wealth, sitting in the backseat, which felt just like a first-class cabin on an airplane. So spacious and comfortable, I let out a sigh of pure, relaxing enjoyment. Now this is truly enjoying life, I said leisurely. Up front, sitting in the smooth driver's seat, Lin Mishui also let out a sigh of pure satisfaction. Yeah, it is so good to be rich. I asked her calmly, do you know how to drive this? Of course, it is not like you have never ridden in my little car before. I have got over 10 years of solid driving experience under my belt. My driving skills are absolutely steady and reliable. Lin Mishui lifted her chin, her face full of pride. She proudly declared, Lin Mishui, veteran driver at your service. I actually need an exclusive driver right now. How about you take on a part-time gig? I said half jokingly. Sure, is there a salary? Lin Mixu's eyes instantly lit up. She leaned in, smiling as she asked. Absolutely, 200,000 a year. You in? I looked at her, raising an eyebrow with a smile. I am definitely in. Old Shu, you are not messing with me, right? Lin Mishui looked completely surprised. From yesterday until now, the money I had given her, plus that car, added up to a pretty massive amount. Hearing her completely shocked words, I did not say anything else. I just pulled out my phone and let a cold, hard money transfer answer for me. Boss Shu, your driver Lin Mishui reporting for duty. Where are we heading now? Lin Mishui turned around and asked with deadpan seriousness. In Time Department Store. I laid back comfortably in the rear seat and said lazily, right away, Boss Shu. If you do not mind, let me just make a quick call to quit my day job. Lin Mishui said with a laugh. Seeing me nod in permission, she quickly whipped out her phone and dialed her manager. Hey, manager, just calling to tell you something. I am quitting. You can keep the rest of my salary for this month, too. That is all, bye. Hanging up the phone with total flair, she looked incredibly refreshed. After making that totally badass phone call, Lin Mishui felt like a brand new woman. She gently pressed the push to start button, running her fingertips over the smooth steering wheel, and lightly turned it, steering us steadily toward In Time Department Store. This one, oh, and this one. Wrap them all up for me. Inside a designer boutique on the second floor of the mall, I pointed at a few outfits on the wall and gave the order. Whoa, old Shu, are you crazy? Why are you buying so much for me? Lin Mishui stood beside me, completely thrilled and surprised. She loved all of those dresses, which added up to around 20 or 30,000 altogether. When you were trying them on just now, I thought these ones looked amazing on you. You looked absolutely stunning, I said with a smile. Old Shu, you are so good to me. Lin Mishui hugged my arm tightly and said with joy, well, that is mostly because you have been doing such a great job. Buying things for you makes me happy, I said, pulling out my bank card and swiping it without a second thought. A few outfits and a pair of shoes cost 32,000. Looking at the attentive, admiring gaze of the woman beside me, I instantly felt it was money well spent. Of course, I know full well, Lin Mishui is only with me because I won her over with cold, hard cash. But whatever, as long as this woman keeps me happy, it's worth every penny. As for true love, 16 years of marriage completely drained that out of me. Mishui, your taste is better than mine. Help me pick out a few things for Ran Ran. Don't you worry, old Shu. I promise to make Ran Ran look like the prettiest little princess. Just tell me her sizes. Lin Mishui said, brimming with confidence. I gave a soft lightly tapped my fingers on the counter, and slowly nodded, before giving my daughter, Shu Ran's, exact clothing sizes clearly to Lin Mishui. Having known her for so many years, I've always genuinely appreciated Lin Mixu's fashion sense. Even though Jo Na also loves dressing up and chasing trends, compared to Lin Mishui. Her taste and aesthetics aren't even in the same league. Lin Mixue knows very well just how deep my pockets are. And that Shu Ran is my precious daughter, the absolute apple of my eye. So, naturally, I wouldn't care one bit about the price tags. Keeping in mind that Shu Ran is still a college student, she thoughtfully put together 2 casual outfits and 2 formal ones. The bill came out to over 100,000, and I swiped my card without batting an eye. Watching me swipe that card with such a cool, unfazed expression, Lin Mixue, who was standing by the register, felt completely numb inside. She honestly couldn't wrap her head around it. Why? Why did I, the guy who used to seem so plain, submissive, and useless, suddenly become a totally different person after the divorce? Throwing money around like a true billionaire. But then again, in this world, everyone has their own hidden secrets they don't want to share. She was a smart, clear-headed woman who knew her place. And she would never recklessly pry into private matters that were none of her business. She only knew one thing for sure: as long as she stayed faithfully by my side, she'd have a luxury mansion to live in, high-end cars to drive, and top-tier designer goods to use. And that was more than enough for her. She never cared about people whispering behind her back, calling her a materialistic gold digger. She was a woman in her 30s. How many vibrant, youthful years did she really have left anyway? Managing to catch the tail end of her youth, and successfully reeling in a huge catch like me, she was already beyond satisfied. As for whether her best friend, Jo Na, would be pissed off about it, she couldn't care less. In her eyes, that so-called unbreakable sisterhood, when stacked up against mansions, sports cars, hard cash, and luxury brands, was nothing but a pathetic, laughable joke. Of course, she still had to keep up appearances with Jo Na. Lin Mixue knew perfectly well that based on her looks and status alone, she wasn't quite worth the massive fortune I was spending on her. She knew deep down that her identity as Jo Na's best friend was exactly why I was willing to treat her this way. The much bigger reason: Jo Na had been so unbelievably cruel to me in the past. If I were still just a spineless, broke loser, I'd have no choice but to swallow my pride and accept my fate. But now, I'm a billionaire with bottomless wealth. Why the hell would I just swallow the humiliations of the past? She was Jo Na's best friend, having her right by my side the second my divorce was finalized. Why else would he give her such a lavish lifestyle? The answer was obvious: to get back at Jo Na. This man just wanted to make Jo Na regret everything. Regret being so blind, and regret all the terrible things she did to him. She had to play her part perfectly. That was her greatest value in staying by my side. Lin Mixue had absolutely no doubt that, given my capabilities and massive wealth, there was no way she'd be his only woman. Men always go bad when they get rich. She had seen way too many examples of that over the years. And young girls these days? They were so much more crazy and proactive than older women like her. They dared to say absolutely anything. With my status, as long as I wanted to, they would throw themselves at me like crazy. Facing those young girls with their flawless, glowing skin, Lin Mixue knew very well that her one and only advantage was being Jo Na's best friend. She had to milk this advantage for all it was worth. Deep down, she was a wild woman anyway. Even if I just treated her like a toy, she was determined to be my absolute favorite, just so she could effortlessly get her hands on all the luxuries she used to only dream about. Lin Mixue lowered her eyes, her fingertips lightly brushing the handles of the shopping bags, while a million little thoughts raced through her mind. She figured that even if she was just a toy, she'd be a happy toy. If she had a choice, she'd gladly be a toy like this for the rest of her life. She had to work hard to prove her worth, to make me so hooked that I couldn't leave her, and rely on her even more. That way, she could keep an endless stream of all the things she wanted coming her way. Lin Mixue walked right by my side, gently linking her arm through mine, strolling around the mall and shopping with me, while silently chewing on these thoughts. The more she thought about it, the clearer it all became. Her eyes grew more determined, and she even started imagining all sorts of fun, thrilling scenarios in her head. Just thinking about it, she actually started getting a little turned on, a soft blush creeping onto her cheeks. We strolled over to the brightly lit makeup counters in the mall. Lin Mixue pointed at a glass display case, at an exquisite, youthful skincare set, and said, "Old Shu. This brand's set is their latest release for this year. It's meant for young girls. Let's buy a set for Ranran. Every girl needs good cosmetics. I bet she'd absolutely love this." I followed her gaze, and glanced at the price tag. It was marked at 29,000 yuan. Even though I couldn't fathom why a single makeup set would cost that much. Since it was a gift for my daughter, I obviously didn't hesitate. With a wave of my hand, I bought it right on the spot. I even smiled, and told her to pick out a nice set for herself too. Hearing that, Lin Mixu's eyes instantly lit up. She pointed at another spot in the display, at a high-end mature women's set, and happily agreed. Taking the elegant shopping bag from the salesgirl, she whispered, "Old shoe, I'll make sure to put on a great performance for you tonight." Pressing her lips right up against my ear, I nodded, and just as I was about to say something, the phone in my pocket suddenly started ringing frantically. I reached in and pulled it out. The screen flashed a local number, ending with a string of several eights. You could tell at a glance that the owner was a real big shot. I hit answer, put it to my ear, and asked, "Hello? Who's this?" The man on the other end of the line introduced himself. "It's Li Changlin, branch manager of ICBC Fushi." Listening to the man introduce himself on the phone, I raised my eyebrows and asked, "Manager Li? What can I do for you?" Li Changlin chuckled and replied, "This morning, Zhangdao law firm from our city called, wanting to request access to your bank account details. But we turned them down right away. You are one of our VIP clients, and we have strict confidentiality policies regarding your information." Hearing this, I was slightly taken aback. For a second, I couldn't wrap my head around it. A law firm? Why would they be looking into my bank details? But I still instinctively said thank you into the phone. Li Changlin then mentioned there were a few things he wanted to discuss in person, and invited me out for lunch. It would be his treat. I thought about it for a moment and gladly agreed. I knew full well that the money came from the system. I've always had absolute faith in the system's capabilities. If it couldn't even cover up the source of the funds, it wouldn't be worthy of being such a powerful cheat code. I was just curious as to why a law firm was snooping around my business. And I figured getting to know a bank manager wouldn't hurt. So, I turned to Lin Mishui and said, "Let's wrap up our shopping here for today. Let's get these things home first. I've got a lunch meeting to attend." Hearing this, Lin Mishui nodded obediently, mentally tallying up her haul from today. Unable to hide her sheer joy and excitement. Tongfu Yazu was Fushi's most renowned high-end private dining club, with the Jin River flowing right through the city. This place sat on an island in the middle of the lake and was strictly members only. You had to book well in advance, and the minimum spend was over 20,000 yuan per head. It was the absolute pinnacle of luxury dining. I'd only ever heard rumors about it before. Even though I'd lived in this city for 16 years, I had never stepped foot in there. Honestly, this would be my very first time. Lin Mishui drove the luxury sedan, dropping me off at the small pier that led to the island. A dedicated staff member was already there waiting. Once I gave my name, they were incredibly polite, and guided me onto a private mini ferry. Noticing the longing look in Lin Mixu's eyes, I patted her arm gently and said, "This is strictly business today. Next time we get the chance, I'll bring you here for a proper meal. I hear their hairy crabs are absolutely amazing. Anyway, I need to head over to the office to pack up some of my personal stuff, and then I'll drop all our shopping from this morning back home." Lin Mishui beamed and said, "Okay, go get ready. Tomorrow we'll head up to the capital together to see Ranran," I reminded her. "Sounds good, I'll head back and start packing. If you need anything, just let me know right away," Lin Mishui replied. I gave a nod, then turned and stepped onto the ferry. The riverside view was stunning, but I wasn't in the mood to take it in. My mind kept racing, trying to figure out exactly who was investigating me. I felt a bit on edge. About 10 minutes later, the smoothly sailing ferry slowly pulled up to the island. I stepped off the boat steadily and followed the waiting staff member as they led the way. The island was lush with flowers and trees, with uniquely designed pavilions and courtyards beautifully scattered throughout. It had that gentle, elegant charm of a classic southern water town. As a soft breeze rolled in off the river, I felt a wave of relaxation wash over me, and my racing thoughts slowly began to quiet down. Strolling leisurely along the winding cobblestone path for a little while, I arrived at an elegant private garden. Right in front of me stood a pale gray courtyard wall, topped with glossy glazed tiles and a massive, heavy crimson gate. It was propped wide open, revealing glimpses of lush green bamboo shading the courtyard inside. It had the elegant, ancient charm of an authentic Suzhou-style garden. Walking inside, it wasn't long before I reached an exquisitely laid out, delicate private courtyard. Standing by the rustic courtyard gates was a man in a crisp white shirt and refined gold-rimmed glasses. He was a slightly plump middle-aged man, looking quietly in my direction, just waiting there. Standing side by side right behind him were two young female employees in neat bank uniforms. Seeing me stroll over, the middle-aged man immediately stepped forward to greet me, a highly enthusiastic smile on his face. "Hello, you must be Mr. Shu. I'm manager Lee Chongfu." Seeing the hand he eagerly held out, I naturally reached out and shook it. "Hello, Mr. Lee. It's a pleasure to meet you." My demeanor was neither humble nor arrogant, just completely natural. Even though the man standing before me was the top boss at one of the big four banks, someone I never would have crossed paths with in the past, I now had a net worth in the tens of millions. As the saying goes, money makes the man. With solid capital backing me up, I certainly wasn't going to let myself be intimidated. After exchanging a few pleasantries at the door, Manager Lee warmly invited me into the private room. The room was filled with an ancient, Zen-like atmosphere that felt incredibly relaxing. After the four of us took our respective seats as host and guests, Manager Lee told the waiter to start serving the food, and then struck up a casual conversation with me. He was a very skilled conversationalist. He didn't immediately steer the topic toward my account. Instead, he just chatted with me about some interesting news from Fu City, which made me feel quite at ease. As for the two female employees in their bank uniforms, the older one sat next to Manager Lee, while the other, a young woman in her 20s, sat on my right, quietly listening to our conversation, and occasionally refilling my water or arranging my tableware. I used to enjoy a casual drink too, but I never overdo it. Half a pint at most. When I'm drinking alone at home, it's usually just a couple of shots. Hearing this, the young woman beside me immediately stood up to pour the liquor for Manager Lee and me. Then, she poured a little plain water into her own glass. "Hey, Xiao Jia, Mr. Shu is a VIP at our bank. How can you toast a guest with water?" Switched to liquor. Seeing that his employee had poured water, Manager Lee frowned, speaking with a look of utter displeasure. "Manager, I really can't handle my liquor. I get drunk easily on strong spirits. Could I maybe have some red wine instead?" Hearing the manager's scolding, the young woman quickly put on a polite smile and softly tried to decline. "Absolutely not. Red wine? That's totally disrespectful to our guest. Pour the strong stuff. You don't need to go back to the branch this afternoon. I'll approve your time off." Manager Lee replied in a forceful, unquestionable tone. "It's completely fine, Manager Lee. If the lady can't drink, there's no need to force her." I sat in my seat with a gentle smile on my face. As I spoke, "Don't worry, Mr. Shu," he replied. "I won't let her drink too much. I know Xiao Jia's limits." "Ha ha ha, I see you've got a soft spot for the ladies. But honestly, you might not be able to outdrink him." Lee Chongfu burst into loud laughter. Since Lee Chongfu put it that way, I obviously couldn't really argue with him. Besides, I clearly saw the attractive young woman sitting beside me swap the plain water in her glass for strong white liquor. Back in my old company, I'd often see these business dinners where bosses would force the female staff to drink. To be honest, it always left a bad taste in my mouth. But since I barely knew these people, it obviously wasn't my place to step in. The waiters started bringing out elegant specialty dishes, one after another. Lee Chongfu raised his glass. "Mr. Shu, let me make some formal introductions. This is our bank's office director, Niu Li. And the beautiful lady beside you is Bai Xiaoji, from our VIP client department. Come on, let's all raise a glass to Mr. Shu, and properly celebrate our new friendship." Lee Chongfu announced loudly with his glass held high. I picked up my own glass, smiled, clinked it against his, and downed it in one shot. Those tiny shot glasses used for white liquor hold barely half an ounce anyway. And since we were drinking top-shelf liquor, tossing it back in one gulp was no problem at all. Seeing me drain my glass, Lee Chongfu cheerfully downed his too. "Ha ha ha, you're a straightforward man, Mr. Shu. Xiaoji, pour him another one," he said with a broad smile. "Come on, Mr. Shu. Try the local specialty hairy crabs here. Everyone says the famous regional ones are the best. But if you ask me, they still can't beat what we have right here in Fu City." Beside me, Xiaoji eagerly reached over to grab a fresh, plump hairy crab for me. Using a traditional 8-piece crab tool set, she carefully opened the shell and gently placed the rich crab meat onto a clean plate right in front of me. Please give it a try, Mr. Shu, Xiaoji said in a soft, gentle voice. I turned to her, smiled, and nodded in thanks, taking the chance to look at her closely. She had a beautifully delicate, oval-shaped face, with fine features that grew on you the more you looked. She wasn't overly flashy at first glance, but rather gave off the warm, gentle vibe of a refined young wife. But she had this captivating charm that pulled you in, especially her beautiful, upturned eyes, which always held a faint smile and a subtle, alluring spark. Her figure was petite and perfectly proportioned, slender exactly where she needed to be. After a few rounds of drinks, Director Li asked Niu Li and Xiaoji to step out for a bit. Knowing there was serious business to discuss, the two women quickly stood up and left the room. That left just Li Changlin and me in the massive private dining room. He mentioned that he couldn't speak freely on the phone earlier. It involves your family's privacy, which is why I invited you here, he explained. Hearing him finally get to the point, I nodded seriously, listening closely to his every word. Mr. Shu, do you know who hired the Zhongdao law firm to look into your bank accounts? Li Changlin asked, sitting across from me on the lounge sofa. He leaned in slightly, his voice dropping to a serious tone. I froze for a second, my fingers twitching slightly before I slowly shook my head. Looking genuinely confused, I furrowed my brow and asked, I have no idea. Why, is there something wrong with my accounts? No, Mr. Shu. Your accounts are perfectly fine. Everything is completely normal. Li Changfu quickly waved his hands, offering a polite, reassuring smile as he explained. It's about the large overseas transfer that came in yesterday. Completely legal and above board. Since the balance crossed the 50 million threshold, you've been automatically upgraded to a prestigious VIP client at our bank. Bringing Xiao Jia along this time is to provide you with exclusive, premium service for your business needs. Listening to Li Changfu's clear and respectful explanation, I sat there, gently running my fingers along the rim of my glass. I gave a slow nod. The anxiety that had been weighing on my mind instantly faded by more than half. I breathed a secret sigh of relief. As long as the source of the money wasn't an issue, then I had absolutely nothing to worry about. This morning, Sun Lin, a dedicated lawyer from Zhongdao law firm, made a special trip to our branch, requesting to pull the recent transaction records for your account. And his client was, at this point, Li Changfu looked a bit cautious. He deliberately paused, shooting me a quiet, upward glance. Seeing that I was listening intently, he finally continued. It was your father-in-law. Sitting across from me, Li Changfu lowered his voice and spoke slowly. Him? Hearing his words, my eyes shot up and I blurted out. The last bit of worry I had vanished without a trace, and my tense shoulders completely relaxed. A look of total realization crossed my face as everything instantly clicked in my head. Yes, honestly, given your current account tier, you have top-level confidentiality and strict risk control rules. Aside from yourself and certain special government agencies, absolutely no one else has the authority to look into your account. We could have just rejected them outright. Li Changfu looked at me, explaining with a serious and solemn expression. This isn't even about privacy, I said, lightly tapping my fingers on the table, a flash of coldness in my eyes. Ever since Zhou Na found out I bought a 30 million property, she hasn't come over to make a fuss. I actually thought she'd turned over a new leaf. Turns out, she's got an expert coaching her from the shadows. Manager Li, here's the situation. Thought for a moment, then took a few minutes to give a brief rundown of what happened with Zhou Na. Throughout the story, I didn't dwell on how badly she treated me during our marriage. I just calmly stated the objective facts. After all, there's no need to broadcast this to everyone and sound like a whining broken record. As for the 100 million in my account, I didn't explain that either. The way I see it, since the system 100% guarantees that the money's source is perfectly legal, there's no need for me to overcomplicate things with extra explanations. That would only make me look suspicious anyway. After hearing me out, Li Changfu looked at me seriously and said that if all this was true, Zhou Na absolutely had no right to a cut of the assets, and he could even connect me with a professional partner lawyer. Hearing the manager say that, I nodded immediately. That was exactly what I was hoping for. Even though I had my grievances with the Zhou family, I never actually planned to go after them. After all, they are still my child's family. I originally just wanted us to go our completely separate ways. But I didn't expect this. The divorce papers were already clear. I never even made an issue out of their demolition money. And yet, they're scheming for my money. Honestly, Jo Na's family is actually pretty well off. Jo Na has a stable, permanent job. Her father is a retired mid-level official, who pulls in his full pension on time every single month. Her mother is a retired teacher, so her monthly pension is also quite generous. Plus, the 3-bedroom apartment they're living in right now, the mortgage had been paid off a long time ago, and with the combined income of our family of 4, we were bringing in a solid 30,000 plus every single month. With that kind of money coming in, even if we weren't filthy rich, we definitely weren't struggling to make ends meet either. But Jo Na had always spent money like water, without the slightest clue on how to budget her finances. Every single piece of makeup she used daily had to be from top-tier, luxury brands. She wouldn't even blink at clothes and bags that cost thousands, she'd just buy them on a whim. And on top of that, she'd go out dining and partying with her friends several times a week, dropping 1 or 2 grand every single time. With all this reckless spending going on, she basically had zero savings left at the end of the month. And because of those exact reckless spending habits, Jo Na had always looked down on me deep in her bones, completely disgusted by how little I made. She was always nagging about how her friends bought designer bags, or flew overseas for vacations, or how their husbands bought them luxury cars. She couldn't even stand the sight of me anymore. Every conversation turned into bitter sarcasm, or even flat-out screaming matches. Whenever she got like that, I couldn't say a single thing right. If I opened my mouth to defend myself, it would just trigger an even uglier, screaming fit from her. But if I kept my mouth shut, she'd accuse me of giving her attitude, or giving her the silent treatment. Thinking back on those suffocating days, it honestly sends shivers down my spine. I am so incredibly thankful I divorced that woman. If we hadn't split up, I probably would have spiraled into severe depression, or even ended it all. Thank goodness, that is all firmly in the past now. As for Jo Na's family trying to harass me, I completely saw that coming from a mile away. That whole family is insanely greedy, selfish, and mean-spirited. Seeing me living the high life right after the divorce, it would be weirder if they weren't burning with jealousy. But no matter what schemes they pulled to harass me, I am done being their doormat. When we divorced, Jo Na took absolutely everything. Not only did she leave me with nothing, but I also had to support our daughter who just started college. Meanwhile, she refused to pay a single dime in child support. She really showed her true colors then. But now that she sees I've struck it rich, she suddenly turns around and expects a piece of the pie? In her dreams, seeing that I had made my stance perfectly clear, Mr. Lee immediately nodded. He made a quick call to bring the 2 young women back in, and turning to Bai Xiaoji beside him, he sternly went over the requirements for my exclusive service. Director Lee made it crystal clear to her that from now on, she was my personal service representative. She had to brief me on everything, leave her direct contact info, and make absolutely sure she was available 24 hours a day, ready to meet my every single demand. Bai Xiaoji nodded eagerly in agreement. It was an incredibly pleasant meal, lasting well over an hour. I even had a few solid glasses of liquor. Once we were thoroughly wined and dined, we left the Tongfu restaurant and took the ferry back to the pier together. Lin Mishui had been waiting there the whole time, and the moment she saw me step off the boat, she quickly pulled the car up and stepped out to open the door for me. She had always been a woman who craved luxury. She just never had the means before, and could only watch the rich with envy. But now that the money was there, she was absolutely going to live it up. As she brought the car to a smooth stop outside the grand, lavishly decorated hotel, I basked in the VIP treatment, watching the bellboys bow as they opened the doors, and soaking in the envious stares from all the other guests around us. That sheer thrill of having her vanity fully satisfied was something she, in her 20-plus years of life, had never experienced before, a completely new and precious feeling. If, at the very beginning, she felt a bit awkward about staying by my side with such an undefined status, harboring some hidden reluctance and an indescribable discomfort in her heart, then after 2 days and 1 night of experiencing the lavish lifestyle of the ultra-rich, she had become completely intoxicated by this glamorous, money-drunk world, never to return to her plain old days again. Seeing Lin Mishui slowly step out of the car, Li Chenglin, who was waiting at the entrance of the high-end restaurant, instantly had his eyes light up. The woman in front of him, although clearly in her 30s at first glance, possessed a mature charm radiating from the inside out, just like a fully ripe, juicy peach. She had an endless, fatal attraction to men, especially with that face of hers, which looked exactly like a famous pop star. Coupled with her absolutely perfect, curvy figure, any normal man laying eyes on her for the first time wouldn't be able to stop their minds from wandering. However, Lee Changfu was a man who had seen the world after all. Even though he lost his composure for a split second, he immediately snapped back to his professional self. "Boss Shu, our bank has specially prepared some exclusive little gifts just for you. Could you have your driver pop the trunk? I'll have someone load them in right away," Lee Changfu said, wearing a humble, perfectly polite smile. "Manager Lee, you're way too kind. I really shouldn't," I smiled, giving him a polite response. "How is this just being kind? As one of our bank's absolute highest tier, top VIP clients, this is the exclusive, premium treatment you fully deserve. From now on, we'll be making regular deliveries every single quarter. When the time comes, just give Xiaoji your exact, preferred delivery address, and we'll handle the rest." Lee Changfu continued with a face full of smiles. Well, since he put it that way, I stopped pretending to be polite, and asked Lin Mishui to pop the trunk. Within seconds, 2 male employees in crisp bank uniforms hurried over, carrying boxes and bags in their hands. I took a casual glance. There was high-end liquor, cigarettes, premium tea, along with imported fruits and supplements. Just looking at these exquisite items, the market value had to be at least over 10,000 bucks. So, this is the exclusive treatment for a top VIP? Not bad at all, I thought to myself cheerfully, looking at the trunk that was now stuffed to the brim. "Boss Shu, regarding the lawyer you asked for, I've already given Xiaoji specific instructions. A top-tier local lawyer will contact you shortly. You can discuss all your specific needs with the lawyer face to face. If there's anything else I can help with, just give me a call anytime," Lee Changfu said, his face brimming with enthusiasm. I nodded my thanks and immediately walked toward my car. Bai Xiaoji, sharp as ever, quickly pulled the car door open for me and thoughtfully shielded the roof with her hand so I wouldn't bump my head. "I'll send you the VIP service details later. Is it alright if we add each other on WeChat? My phone number is the same as my ID." Once I was seated inside, Bai Xiaoji leaned toward the window and said with a sweet smile. I nodded and rolled up the window. After we had driven for a bit, Lin Mishui curiously asked who she was. I told her it was the service rep, Bai Xiaoji. She let out a soft chuckle at that. I asked her what was so funny, and she replied that the girl gave off the vibe of a teacher, rather than a bank clerk. Lin Mishui said with a playful smile. Hearing her words, I froze for a second, then it suddenly hit me what she meant. We just chatted casually in the car. I really wasn't worried about distracting Lin Mishui from her driving. For one thing, she truly was a veteran driver with over 10 years of experience, just like she claimed. The luxury sedan's safety features were top tier. It gave us just one feeling, incredibly smooth. Secondly, the luxury car's built-in collision avoidance made driving an absolute breeze for her. Ring, ring, a crisp phone ring suddenly pierced the air. I pulled out my phone and glanced down. The caller ID clearly showed Joe Na. Hello? I answered without overthinking it. Swiping my finger across the screen, I picked up the call right away. From the other end of the line, Joe Na's voice came through, completely icy. It carried a heavy, suffocating pressure. That same overbearing tone I was so damn used to. I subconsciously frowned, my fingertips tightening their grip on the phone. Fine, where do we talk? She paused, then said in a cold, deep voice, Jinjiang Gardens. I might as well take a tour of your new mansion while I'm at it. Her words were dripping with heavy sarcasm. Joe Na said, even through the cold, distant phone connection. I could clearly hear the intense, teeth-gritting hatred in her voice. Sure, come on over. Just call me when you reach the gate. I'll have security let you in. The moment I finished that sentence, I raised my hand and hung up the phone without a second thought. On the other side, Joe Na saw that I actually had the guts to hang up on her. Her knuckles turned dead white from gripping the phone so hard. Her already dark expression instantly turned completely furious. Oh, you've got nerve, Shu Fuhai. Divorced for barely 2 days. And you actually dare to hang up on me now? You think you're such a big shot. Joe Na gritted her back teeth, her face twisted with rage as she spat out the words. Was that Joe Na calling? Holding the steering wheel steadily, Lin Mishui, who was driving, had naturally overheard every single word of my phone call. After I hung up, she gently tilted her head to look at me. She asked casually, yeah, she wants to talk face to face. Your intuition is pretty sharp. How did you know it was her? I looked at her, asking with a playful smile lingering on my lips. Woman's intuition, don't forget, I am her best friend after all. Lin Mixue blinked, replying with a sweet, playful grin. Just then, the car pulled up to the neighborhood's garage, and the barrier automatically lifted. She drove the car straight into the underground parking lot. I raised an eyebrow. Chuckling, I teased her. Oh yeah, a really good best friend. She just got divorced, and you immediately sleep with her ex-husband. Ha, didn't you sleep with me? Lin Mixue's eyes danced with amusement. She teased back with a sly smirk. Who slept with who? Isn't it all the same? I joked back casually. Since the divorce and getting the system, my mindset had unknowingly gone through a massive change. Bantering and flirting with Lin Mixue like this was something I would absolutely never dared to do before. But now, it felt as natural as breathing. Alright, if you say it's the same, then it's the same. Old Shu, when Joe Na gets here later, should I make myself scarce? Lin Mixue looked at me. She asked softly, make yourself scarce? Why would you do that? Hearing her words, I looked at her, completely baffled. She's already full of resentment right now. She definitely thinks you went behind her back and hid the fact that you were this rich. She's coming over today specifically to interrogate you. If he sees you with me again, aren't you afraid he'll completely lose it right then and there? Lin Mixue looked at me playfully. You make a good point, Mixue. Knowing his temper, he just might. So, what do you suggest we do? I laughed, tossing the problem right back at her. Lin Mixue had already figured out a plan to handle Joe Na. I chuckled and called her a genius, while she let out a soft sigh, joking about her own predicament. Gently turning the steering wheel, I parked the car perfectly in the spot. We headed upstairs together. She sweetly coaxed me, promising to tell me a bedtime story tonight. I stepped out of the car, letting Lin Mixue wrap her arms affectionately around mine. Looking just like a real couple, Lin Mixue and I walked over to the elevator together. We rode the elevator up, and I reached out to push open the heavy front door. Lin Mixue gently took off my coat, then thoughtfully bent down to help me slip into a pair of soft slippers. Once she saw me comfortably settled on the large, soft living room couch, she turned around to brew me a warm cup of green tea. She even carefully set out a beautiful platter, filled to the brim with fresh fruits. I sat back on the large, soft couch. After Lin Mixue finished setting everything down, she looked at me and said softly, Lao Shu, why don't you watch some TV for a bit? I'm going to mop the floor. As she spoke, Lin Mixue turned with a light, brisk step and headed straight for the spotless bathroom. But before she could take more than 2 steps, I reached out and gently caught her slender wrist. Hold on a second. Sitting there on the large, soft couch, I kept my hold on her wrist, looking up at her as I softly called her back. Go wash up first, I told her. Reaching casually toward the coffee table in front of me, I pulled out a clean, soft tissue. Slowly raising my hand, I gently wiped away the faint traces left at the corner of her mouth, my voice turning incredibly warm and gentle as I spoke to her. I stayed seated on that large, soft couch, keeping my eyes on her. Lin Mixue quickly gave a little wave of her hand, replying softly, no need. I'm fine, Lao Shu. With that, she turned back around and picked up a crystal clear glass from the solid wood coffee table. She poured herself half a glass of cool, clean water, slowly tilting her head back and downing it all in just a few gulps. There, all good. I continued to sit there on the large, soft couch as she set the empty glass down. Her eyes curved into sweet crescents as she looked at me with a bright smile. And then she leaned in close, right up to my face. Parting her soft pink lips slightly, she playfully breathed a warm puff of air over me. Here, smell it, she giggled. See? No smell at all. Sitting there on the large, soft couch, couldn't help but look a bit helpless. Wrinkling my brow, I gently reached out and pushed her delicate, playful figure away from my face. Shoo, I said, putting on a faint look of mock disgust. Make sure you brush your teeth properly before bed, I said, continuing to tease her out loud. But deep down, I couldn't help but secretly mutter to myself, there really wasn't any smell. I watched her from the comfort of the large, soft couch. Seeing the look on my face, Lin Mixue suddenly burst into a bright laugh. Haha, are you actually grossed out? Still laughing, she turned on her heel with a light step and headed straight for the bathroom. By the time she came back, she already had a clean mop in her hands. She bent over, diligently scrubbing the sleek living room floor. sitting there on the large, soft couch. I watched her lean over to mop the floor so seriously, and I couldn't help but call out, "Lin Mishue. You are such a tease." Lin Mishue looked up, smiling back at me. "Shu Fuhai, you are so naughty. Just you wait, I am gonna teach you a proper lesson tonight." I chuckled and replied, "Bring it on. Just make sure a certain someone doesn't wake up with a sore back tomorrow morning." I sat back on the huge, plush sofa, and couldn't help but wonder, why doesn't it bother me when Lin Mishue acts like this? Actually, not only does it not bother me, I genuinely kind of admire it. After thinking about it for a while, I chalked it up to the fact that Lin Mishue just knows exactly what she's doing. She's clearly calculating, yet she somehow makes you feel completely at ease. It makes it absolutely impossible to hate her. Right at that moment, my phone rang. I pulled it out to check. It was Jo Na. "I am at the gate. Tell the guards to let me in." Her voice came through the moment I answered the call. Cold, yet carrying a hint of urgency. "Hello, is this Mr. Shu? There is a Mrs. Jo at the gate asking for you." A moment later, I heard a respectful voice on the line. "Yes, I am Shu Fuhai, the owner of Building 6, Unit 601. You can let her in," I said in a polite tone. The guard on the other end maintained his respectful tone, replying, "Understood, sir." A short while later, the doorbell rang. I got up, walked over to the entrance, and pulled open the heavy security door. Outside stood Jo Na, wearing a sleek black skirt suit and carrying that designer bag I knew so well. She stood right in front of me, her face covered in an absolute layer of frost. She stared at me in dead silence for a moment, then took a few heavy steps right into the middle of the living room. Taking in the sheer luxury of the massive space, Jo Na's chest heaved violently with heavy breaths. "Mishue, what are you doing here?" She was just about to say something else, when she suddenly spotted Lin Mishue mopping the floor. "Nana, how come you are here?" Seeing Lin Mishue standing there, all the bitter anger on Jo Na's face instantly vanished into pure shock. "Wait, haven't you and Shu already gotten a divorce?" I watched Lin Mishue, taking in that perfectly crafted look of shock and panic on her face, and I couldn't help but secretly laugh to myself. I thought to myself, women truly are born actresses. Jo Na suddenly spun around, marching right up to my face. Pointing sharply at Lin Mishue, she demanded, "Shu Fuhai, what the hell is going on here? Why is Mishue in your house?" Completely ignoring Jo Na's furious outburst, I casually strolled over to the plush sofa, sat down, and lazily called out to her. "Lin Mishue, explain it to her yourself." Lin Mishue hurriedly set the mop aside. She nervously approached Jo Na, gently tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear, and explained in a soft, timid voice, "Nana, please don't be mad. It is really not what you think." Seeing Jo Na breathing so heavily from rage, Lin Mishue put on a perfectly panicked expression and quickly continued her explanation. "Shu bought this property through my agency. Right after closing the deal on this 30 million luxury mansion, he was instantly upgraded to our company's top-tier VIP status. As a VIP owner, he gets a dedicated personal concierge. And he specifically requested me for the role. I swear, I fought against it at first. I really didn't want to take this personal concierge job, but my company was super strict about it. They made it completely clear that if I refused to serve him, they would fire me on the spot. Nana, you know how hard it is. That rundown little apartment I am living in right now? The rent alone eats up more than half of my paycheck every single month. If I get fired, I'll just have to sleep on the streets." As Lin Mishue said this, her eyes instantly turned red. Faint, aggrieved tears shimmered in her eyes, and she took several deep breaths in a row, just barely holding back the welling tears. Hearing Lin Mixu's tearful words, the guardedness in Jo Na's eyes instantly faded away. She raised her hand and gently patted Lin Mixu's back. Comforting her softly, Jo Na spoke to Lin Mishue in a deep, serious voice, reassuring her, "It's okay. I will definitely get justice for you against this bastard. This is totally outrageous. How dare he openly bully my best friend?" She turned and glared furiously at me on the sofa, her face full of anger as she harshly questioned me, "Shu Fuhai, I won't even argue with you right now about you buying a house. But you know perfectly well that Mishue is my best friend, yet you deliberately requested her to be your exclusive service staff. Guo Yuan even purposely ordered her to mop the floors for you. How can you be such a jerk?" Watching Jo Na gradually descend into a frenzy, I slowly stood up, my face completely expressionless. I reached out and turned off the TV playing in the living room. Looking at the highly agitated Jo Na, I slowly spoke, my tone flat and without a single ripple of emotion. That's right. I did make her provide me with exclusive homeowner services. So what? I want her right here mopping my floors, washing my clothes, and cooking my meals. I want her as my exclusive private driver. So what? After saying these words, I watched Jo Na's face turn livid, but I didn't hold back in the slightest. Adding fuel to the fire, I told the furious Jo Na once again, and I'm going to be with her. I'll have her by my side every single day. Got a problem with that? Hearing this last sentence, Jo Na's eyes instantly turned bloodshot. She screamed at me hysterically, "Kui Fuhai. You absolute bastard, I'm not done with you." After saying that, Jo Na charged wildly at me like a rabid beast. She rushed in front of me like a maniac, her right hand raised high, furiously clawing down hard at my face. As if I had anticipated her move all along, I reached out one hand and precisely caught her wrist. Then I coldly said, "Jo Na, if you can speak decently, then sit down and we'll talk. But if you're going to keep acting crazy, don't blame me for being ruthless." With her hand firmly gripped by me, Jo Na's emotions grew even more frantic. She shrieked, "Ruthless? Let's see how ruthless you can be. Shu Fuhai, you bastard. I am going to tear you apart today." Seeing Jo Na kicking and cursing at me like a madwoman, Lin Mishui hurriedly stepped forward to gently coax her. Seeing Jo Na getting more and more out of control, I exerted force with my hand and threw her directly onto the sofa. Thrown into the cushions, the soft foam kept her from getting hurt, but her fury burned even brighter. She grabbed a green teacup and hurled it at me, but I dodged it. The cup shattered and knocked over the fruit platter. I asked her, "Are you done throwing your tantrum? That cup you smashed is worth $6,000. She froze for a second, then stubbornly talked back. I shot back, "Shouldn't you pay for it? What kind of relationship do we even have now? Who gave you permission to smash my things? I want you to compensate me. Is there a problem?" I asked coldly. Jo Na glared at me with sheer arrogance and shrieked harshly, "Shu Fuhai. Stop trying to scare people. What do you mean, your house? Let me tell you, half of this house belongs to me. I can smash whatever I want in here. What are you gonna do about it?" Hearing my words, Jo Na instantly felt a twinge of panic. Her fingertips curled up subconsciously, and she tightly clutched the hem of her shirt. She quickly steadied her panicked nerves, thinking back to before she came, and the foolproof plan her parents had given her. Her confidence instantly returned. She put on a tough front, sticking her neck out and screaming at me, "Half of this place is mine." Hearing her words, I was so furious that I actually burst out laughing on the spot. A smirk crept up the corners of my mouth, my eyes filled with cold, mocking glare. I dropped every trace of a smile from my face, and stared coldly at the red-faced Jo Na in front of me. I slowly opened my mouth. "You just said that half of this house belongs to you. Let me ask you, do you know anything about the law? You're supposed to be a highly educated intellectual. So how could you say something so incredibly ridiculous?" Jo Na instantly blew her top. She slammed her hands hard on the table in front of her, her eyes full of resentment as she screamed at me. "Sui Fuhai, don't you dare preach to me about the law. Let me ask you, back when we were still married, why did you hide so much money behind my back? I really couldn't tell. You always looked so honest and simple, but it turns out it was all just a massive act. I spent 16 whole years with you. Normally, you couldn't even bear to buy me a decent designer bag. You were always too cheap for that. But now, right after we get a divorce, in the blink of an eye, you pull out 30 million and buy this gorgeous Riverview penthouse. Doesn't your conscience hurt?" Jo Na sat right there, scolding me relentlessly. The more she spoke, the more wrong she acted. Finally, her eyes turned completely red and she actually started crying. But facing Jo Na's tearful pity party, I didn't feel a single ounce of sympathy. I let out an emotionless chuckle, and continued in a calm, deadpan voice. "Jo Na, considering we used to be married, I'll let it slide that you just trespassed into my home to make a scene. But you better remember this. This is absolutely the last time. Also, if you're going to make claims, back them up with hard evidence. We were married for 16 whole years, and every single month, I handed over my entire paycheck to you, down to the very last cent. You know better than anyone else exactly how much money I was left with. You're saying I hid money? Fine, show me the evidence. If you don't have any proof, then keep your mouth shut. Hearing my words, Jo Na shot right up from her seat, glaring daggers at me. Evidence? Fine, Shu Fuhai. Don't you dare think I can't touch you just because I don't have evidence right now. Let me tell you, I will absolutely get that evidence. We live in a society ruled by law now, where everything runs on laws and reason. I've already hired the best lawyer in town. I'll see you in court. Hearing all of this, I just couldn't hold back a laugh. Alright then, I'll be waiting for that lawyer's letter. But I'll say it again. As long as you can produce the evidence, never mind giving you half. I'll give you the whole damn thing. Fine, Shu Fuhai, you said it yourself, you better remember this. Jo Na spat out furiously. Yeah, I said it. Go ahead and let your lawyer investigate. Oh, and by the way, if there's nothing else, can we go now? I asked with a smile. Hearing this, Jo Na unconsciously took another look all around. Let's get remarried. Jo Na suddenly turned to face me, crossed her arms, and casually dropped the request to remarry. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not. Completely dumbfounded, I asked her back if she was playing a joke on me. But she swore she wasn't joking at all, and even used our kid as an excuse, saying she wanted to give Ran a proper family. Hearing her words, I was left completely speechless, staring at the woman standing right in front of me. I honestly just could not wrap my head around it.